Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday, November 16th. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. But first, we got to do something together. All right. I'm making a note right now. We need to blow this thing up. All right. If we want to keep story trading going, make it viable, we got to grow our community. So we're going to step it up on social media over at Twitter. So what I want everyone to do is head on over to Twitter at twitter.com/story trading. I'm putting a link up on the screen right now. There it is, twitter.com/story trading. And what we need from the community, we really need you, if you have a chance to interact when we do post, we need you to like, retweet, comment, help our community grow, because we want to keep this thing going long term. But in order to do that, we do need your support to grow this community and make this viable. Okay, so we'll cover that a little bit at the end too. But all right, first, let's look at the macro. CRISPR, CRSP. All right, we're going to do a detailed dive into the chart and the news in a minute. Just want to bring to your attention, this is what I'm most excited about today. I even grabbed some in my retirement account. All right, we'll dig into it. Look at the news. They have a gene therapy drug, the first ever that's been approved. Okay, now let's go to the macro. All right, there's some economic news. Every day there's economic news coming out at 8:30 a.m., and the whole story is what's going to happen with rates. So TLT, we've been going through this every day, but it bears repeating and bears like monitoring this each and every single day. And TLT is above that 50 DMA here at 87.75. Now, you just got to remember, TLT is a proxy for rates. Like I don't have familiarity with how to actually look up the rates. I don't know if we could do it here on Webull. Maybe you can. Maybe somebody got to research. But like the actual like 10-year rates and whatever, this is a 20-year ETF bond, but there's different rates the market looks at. I look at TLT as an approximation, as a proxy and an approximation for what's going on in the rate market. Okay, so it's not an exact science here, but you know, it should be roughly equal, right? When you're seeing TLT reach a support level here, that also means rates are reaching, you know, well, it's the inverse, right? That TLT go high as rates are going lower. So, TLT goes high, rates going lower. But the inverse should be true. If you do technical analysis on rates, you should see similar things happening here, but it's not going to be to the penny, okay? So just realize what you're looking at when you're looking at TLT. So when I say look at that 50 DMA, it's representative of that rates are not going higher, right? Rates are getting blocked, you know, at whether it's 5% or 4.9%, whatever, that 50 DMA represents a certain level of rates, and it's not going to go higher than that. Okay. So when we're looking at TLT here, I think it's important. I think you can draw inferences from, is it holding this 50 DMA? 50 DMA is at 87.75. And this is the name of the story. It's all about rates. And it's very hard, I have to tell you, when we're looking at news and fundamentals and economic, and economic news and specific company news. And, we're seeing, oh my gosh, there's such great news, the stock should go up, or bad news, the stock should go down. Really, the thing that moves sectors and stocks and indices is rates more than anything else. I know we've all seen this, but it's hard to actually accept and digest and swallow, because I've seen since the cool CPI that's come out and the cool PPI yesterday, like Clearfield, for example. Clearfield should have dumped on that bad earnings, but right now it's a risk on mode. People are saying, okay, the bearishness of this is what they're saying now, right? The bearishness of the last couple of years, forget about it. Now we can inflate values. Now we can expand PEs. Now we can expand PS ratios because rates are coming down. And it's important to remember that in the backdrop of any stock you're looking at. Okay, I'm just going to mention that. And so I'm not so concerned about QQQ SPY. It's really, for me, about rates and risk assets, TLT, ARK, and IWM. And RK went over the 200 DMA. You see it there. And the first day closed above it. Traders saw that and they just exploded again yesterday. It's not going to go straight up. But here also, look how beautiful this 200 DMA was support over here. How come my candle's not showing right here? Look how perfect this was on whatever date that is. Where's my dates? August 18th. All right. So beautiful support means when you break it, it becomes strong resistance, and you can see there. It's just so beautiful, this 200 DMA and RK. So as long as we're above that, you're bullish, right? It doesn't mean you can buy every day. It doesn't mean you should, go overweight every day, because you're going to have corrections. You're going to have intraday moves. But as long as we're over the 200 DMA, from a swing perspective, or even an intermediate term perspective, we're good with risk assets, okay? And that's all I'm going to look at here. QQQ SPY, they're set to go to all-time highs, but it hasn't been healthy. We all know that. The health of the market, it's what's underlying, these smaller cap stocks and IWM, RK, that represents where most people are investing in the market, most retail, and they've been getting killed. So maybe the start of a nice intermediate term turnaround, while the, big 7 mega caps take QQQ and SPY to new heights. Okay. Bitcoin, I want to cover the Bitcoin chart, but I'm going to do that at the end. I just want to first, so much to do. I just want to first recognize the ERs that are out there. I'm not going to play any of these ERs. I'm not going to focus on them, but there's big ones out, and most of them were bad. Okay. It's Macy's, Baba, Walmart, PNW, Cisco. Okay. And again, it doesn't matter the quarter they just reported. It matters their guidance. And the guidance was light from what I saw. At least I only looked at detail in Walmart. Walmart came in under expectations in terms of guidance. Okay. I didn't get a chance to look at the rest, but I can guarantee you, if you're down this much on Baba, Walmart, PNW, and Cisco, it's because their guidance was poor. Macy's, they beat, and their guidance, they beat the EPS guidance for next quarter by 2%. Stocks up 10%. So I'm not going to be chasing that. But technically, look at this. 1306 is your resistance. It's over 1306 now. Let me tell you the levels here. It's at 1377. So take a look at that report. If you like it, 1377 is your next target, and your resistance, your support's going to be at 1306. So 1306, and then are we over 1377? Hold on. Wow, we're over 1377 in pre-market. Wow, into the gap. So if you're into the gap, if that holds, then your next is 1449. So those are your three numbers: 1449, 1377, 1306. Okay, and then you got your 200 DMA at 1529. See all those numbers? Okay, those are important numbers, and they're all going to interact. They will. I'm telling you. Okay, it's hard to have patience, but when it touches all of these numbers, it's going to react to it. It's going to pull back at each of these levels. And then if it breaks it, it'll jump to the next level. I mean, this is a really clean chart. Okay, so that's the story with Macy's. All right, I don't have time to look into the rest of these, but let's go to some of the top picks, and then we'll go to look at the crypto chart, because I want to do that. All right, I just want to move the order around, because we got CRISPR I want to talk about, but then Microsoft I want to do next. And yeah, CRISPR and Microsoft, really the two focuses here. All right. So CRISPR Therapeutics. This is a gene therapy company that is in Cathie Wood's portfolio, RK. I've always been aware of it, never really invested in it. I've always kind of wanted to invest in it. It's a cool idea, gene therapy, gene editing. Okay, market cap is 4.47 billion. Let's look at a long-term chart. Actually, let's do this. And you can see this stock in this heyday was $220. Now it's over here at $58. So why is it on my list this morning? Check this out. Let's see if it's in this news feed here. Okay, world's first approval of CRISPR-based therapy. This is huge. This is huge. I've always wanted to be in CRISPR. And to me, this is important. So, look, this is for, I think, sickle cell anemia. Let's dive in. Let's see if I can find. Let's see. Here it is. UK. So this is approved in the UK. UK approves first CRISPR gene-edited therapy for sickle cell disease. Okay, I don't know exactly how their technology works, but I don't need to. All I need to know is it's gene therapy, and it's their first approval ever. Okay, on CRISPR-based technology. So here's what I think about this. There's going to be a bunch of fundamental investors out there who do the math on this, who say, oh, this was within expectations. It wasn't. The indications it was approved for was good or bad. Or you're going to have these like people who are very quantitatively based come out there and make an argument, whatever that argument is, whether it's bullish or bearish, we'll put a number on it. I don't care about any of that today. I think the sentiment will completely overwhelm fundamentals on this. And you're going to have an entire new class of investors who want to own this stock simply on the sentiment, the speculation, the expectation that now that one drug is approved on their platform, I don't care about the TAM. I'm telling you what I think, and I think most of the rest of the investing community today is going to think like me. I don't care about the TAM of sickle cell anemia. Okay, I don't care exactly in what use case they're allowed to use it. To me, that means nothing. What means something is it's the first ever approval, which means speculation that their platform works. CRISPR-based therapy that they have. In fact, let's kind of look it up today. Let's see what else they have in their pipeline. I don't even know, but I know it has to be a lot because they have a 4.5 billion market cap. All right. So let's see if I'm wrong or I'm right. All right. We'll do this together. Go to company. This is the first time real-time research today with you guys here. CRISPR Therapeutics. How am I going to find their website? Come on. Give me a website here. All right. I just got to Google it. So CRISPR Therapeutics. All right. Pipeline. Found it. All right. In fact, let me share my screen. So we're going to go to share screen. Looking at this real-time live with you. Never looked at this page before in my life. And here we go. Can you hear me? You can't see me, but I'm there. All right. Now I can see. So let's see. Wow. I guess this is probably the one that's just approved, I'm assuming. So immuno-oncology. Look at this. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, they have over a dozen other drugs in development. Okay, so I don't care about the TAM. Here it is, sickle cell, the one that's just approved. I don't care about the TAM of sickle cell anemia. Don't care. Don't care what the numbers are. All I care is there are thousands of people. Let's call it this. There's probably billions of dollars worth of capital in the world today. Billions of dollars worth of capital in the world today who look at this news and say, oh my gosh, they're going to get some other approvals. That's it. That's all I need to know. So sentiment trumps fundamentals today. All right. So now we can go back and look at the chart and see what our opportunities might be. Now, again, I bought this for my long-term retirement account. I always wanted it because it's I love Cathie Woods. I really do. I mentioned this before. And, for me as a retail investor, institutional investor, whatever way you look at it, as an investor, I think of investing as I want to be in the products that are going to change the world. I want to be in the new technologies of tomorrow. That, to me, that's investing. And to me, investing is not, and I'm not, criticizing anyone else who does it this way. It's not looking at numbers and what's the risk reward, how much dividends am I going to get from this year. That's great. Good for those people. All right. And, Wonderful for them. All right, great. But to me, and I think actually most retail investors, they're thinking, what's going to change the world in 5 or 10 years? Okay. And that's why I love Cathie Woods. I love CRISPR. I love this ACHR, the EV taxis. Look, she did a home run in Tesla. This is exciting stuff. This can change the world. CRISPR maybe can be $100 billion company in 5 or 10 years. I don't know. Maybe it could be a $200 billion. Maybe it's going to be $1 trillion company one day. All right. But in any case, that's all the sentiment. That's why I'm describing this. That's the sentiment that's going to drive the price action today. That's why you're going to find buyers. So here now, let's look at the technicals. So right now in pre-market, we're at 59.47, which is, hold on, I got to get into a daily chart. Daily. Okay. All right. So you had this recent high 58.81, which it's over. I got to get to a longer range. Okay. You can see that. So it's a cup breakout in pre-market this morning. Let's go to 6 month. Okay. So now we're at 59.25. So you got some right here. You got some resistance. See these candles right there? So you got some resistance, which is 59.67, 59.67, 59.67. Oh, wow. The pre-market high is 59.76. So it is respecting and interacting with this resistance level right here in pre-market around 59.67. If that breaks, what do we have next? Okay. If 59.67 breaks, you know what? We may have to round it up to 60 because you can see 60 was kind of support here. What was the top of this candle? Top of this candle, 59.81. And then kind of supported 60. What's the bottom of this green candle here? Bottom of this candle here is 60.68. Okay, so let's just call maybe 59.67 to 60. Like that kind of area is your resistance. And if it breaks like that 60 level, then you have this whole area of congestion, which takes you well into the mid 60s, and eventually at the 52-week high at 72. Okay, is that the 52-week high? Yeah. All right. And what's this number right here? This is like shoulder 58.50, 58.50. Beautiful. All right. Now it's all coming into view. You see this? This is beautiful. So you're in this kind of resistance area right now, 59.50 to 60. And if you break that, then I think you're going to start getting into this congestion area in the mid 60s, 65. All right. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. For me, I bought it in my long-term account. I'm not planning on trading this. I'm just going to hold this, and I feel comfortable holding it because that's my expectation is once you have one approval, it validates. There's now going to be speculative sentiment premium, right, for the value of all the other assets in the portfolio. Now, someone can come around and try to quantify it and say, okay, X% chance this is approved, X% chance that's approved. But at the end of the day, it's still all arbitrary. Like what percent chance are they going to put on it? It's all arbitrary. Even what these institutions do, it's all arbitrary. Okay. And they can put a quantitative number on it, but really it's the net opinion of the world is going to say there's a greater chance of approvals. This asset's worth more than it was yesterday. So here we go. I'm going to be holding this longer term, and until we get a catalyst that proves otherwise, until something happens and they don't get the next approval, I'm just going to assume the next one's going to be approved. So for me, I'm a long-term holder at this point because I don't know when the next catalyst comes, but it's probably not tomorrow. It's probably months away or whatever it is. So, unless something gets, I'm not going to revisit this and change my thesis unless the next regulatory decision is negative. I'm just going to assume the next ones are positive. I'm going to hold this and I'm going to think, oh my gosh, CRISPR can make it, to the hundreds of dollars again sometime in the future. And that's my thesis. That's why I'm in it. And that's why I think a lot of other people are going to be buying this stock today. All right. That's CRSP. Microsoft, Dan Ives from Wedbush came out, and is it in my newsfeed here? I saw it on Twitter last night. Let's see if Webull has it. So it was a price target in the... Let's see where it is. Dan Ives from Wedbush. Okay, here we go. Wedbush Ives raises Microsoft target to 425. Okay, he raised from 400 to 425. Outperform top pick. Okay, I own this in my IRA. All right, 400 to 425. I wonder, can we? Nah, I don't think you can do math on that and say, okay, that's a 5% increase in the price target. Nah, I don't think you could do that. I think you could just say it's good news. Let's look at the chart. That's all. All right. So we're at 373 is that recent high over here. And we're at 371 today. But you also have to keep in mind, if you're playing a stock like Microsoft, you got to look at QQQ, you got to look at the markets, and that can impact it as well. But if markets aren't crashing, maybe on this Dan Ives things, you can at least retest 370, 350. All right. And, I like it for the long term, and I have it in my retirement account, and that's great. All right. So Microsoft, potential for challenging its 52-week high that it just hit the other day. It could potentially hit that, challenge it, break it today on the Dan Ives upgrade. So take a look at that. Novo Nordisk, if anyone knows what news is driving this, please let me know. If there is news, maybe there's an upgrade out there that hasn't been PR'd yet. But Novo Nordisk is up 3% in pre-market. And as you know, this is a GLP-1 stock like Lilly. Lilly's been getting all the excitement from all the recent news and approvals they've had. Novo Nordisk has been more quiet. You can see it hit 104 and then pulled back here to 96. So it's been underperforming Lilly, and valuation-wise is actually cheaper. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know Lilly's the most expensive from a price to sales ratio, and I think even their PE. But Novo Nordisk, something may be going on. Maybe it's time for Novo Nordisk to play catch up because whatever approvals Lilly's been getting for their drug, Novo Nordisk is also going to get it. Whatever studies showed that Lilly's drug is good for heart disease and all that kind of stuff, it's also going to be good for Novo Nordisk's drug. It's just not that Lilly had it first. Okay. So there could be some catch up to happen. And it could be that some analysts basically said what I just said, right? And maybe that's why it's up 3% in pre-market at $99. So this is in play. I wish I knew exactly what the catalyst was, but I think it's a pretty good bet somewhere. There's some sort of positive analyst note on it, unless Weeble's missing some press release or something. So, okay, 104 is the recent high. You got psychological resistance at 100, but Novo Nordisk, I think, has a chance to make a move to 104. And I guess and now that it's actually moving, maybe investment community is going to wake up and say, let's give Novo Nordisk some love too. And maybe Novo Nordisk becomes a stock that you can buy the dips on pretty much every day, which Lilly was a little bit harder yesterday. But since all the news flow that came out, Lilly's been doing pretty good with buying the dip. So, all right, Novo Nordisk, keep that on your radar. NVIDIA had a lot of really bullish comments from the CEO yesterday. It's a Microsoft event on AI, like really super bullish commentary. You can take a look at it. But I think we got other stuff to look at, which is doing better in pre-market. So NVIDIA, I own it in my long-term account. Leave it at that. Maybe we'll see some follow-through on Siri after Warren Buffett bought. Let's just quickly look at the technicals on this. So key level is 525 that it spotted yesterday from pre-market resistance, and it had trouble with that. Oh, man, I'm still not used to these charts. I really miss TD. Okay, what's the low? Yesterday's low, 515. Okay, so 515 is an important level. If it goes below 515, then you could go fill the gap completely here, okay, which is at 490. So be careful with that 515 area. 525 is an important area. What's it at now? It's 527. Okay, if it stays above 525, that's more bullish. And then, we'll see if it can re-challenge yesterday's high of 560. There was big resistance of 559, I believe I saw. So it went to 562. That 559 was right here, this spike, or was it 557? 559. Okay, you see that? That's what it interacted with yesterday. I pointed out this on the show yesterday. I pointed out that 559. Remember that yesterday morning? 559, and it got rejected right at 562. So pay attention when we do these morning shows. Take these notes. Like if you were playing Siri yesterday from a pre-market call, you could have sold at 559 right at that resistance level, and kind of maybe re-entered at 525 where we saw that support that we also, I believe, noted on the show yesterday morning. Anyway. Siri maybe can have some follow through for today. But let me just look at crypto, and then what's CRISPR with a little bit of a pullback here. Okay. Actually, let me just look at pre-market. I want to look at the pre-market. Is this it? What are we looking at? Okay, okay, yeah, beautiful. You kind of see a double bottom here at like $58. So $58 looks like a nice support level on CRISPR to consider today, CRSP, okay? And if it breaks that, obviously, when I say there's a support, doesn't mean it's guaranteed to hold it. It means it's a good risk reward to buy it there, but it also means if it breaks below it, like look out below to the next levels, right? That's also what it means, okay? In this case, I wouldn't say complete gap fill, but probably right here at 57.11 or so. Like if it breaks below 58, then you can get to basically yesterday's high at 57.11 would be the next level. All right, so now let's look at crypto, and then we're going to call it a morning. Bitcoin. I was looking at all kinds of different time frames yesterday, and it like look at this 20-day moving average. It's riding up this 20 DMA, beautiful. We talked about this like cup breakout the other day in chat, right? I forgot the level I gave you, but it did it perfectly. It was like 35,900 or something, I think. And when it broke 35,900, it just exploded, and it's riding up to 20. So the daily chart looks really bullish on Bitcoin. Okay, let me change the range so I can look back a little further. Let's go. Oh wow, is this a 52-week high? What am I looking at? Is it really? Wow, I didn't even realize we're at a 52-week high. Okay, so the daily looks beautiful. And I guess I got to go to 5 years. I guess it makes me go to the weekly. Okay, so now I got to go to the weekly. All right, so on the weekly chart, come on, man. Give me my TD app. All right, so on the weekly chart here, what do we see? I mean, what we can see is the moving averages are beautiful, right? You have all kinds of bullish crosses. You have a 2200. Yeah, that's a golden cross. No, 5200 is a golden cross. So golden cross is trying to form maybe in the next few weeks on Bitcoin here. And so it broke above all the key moving averages, the 20, the 50, the 200, bullish cross on the 2200, as I talked about. It might be a golden cross on the daily, though. We probably already had that, a while ago. Yep. Already had the golden cross over here on right there when it was 35,000. That's when you had the golden cross there. Let's go back to the weekly. I want to see if we can come up with a target. And it's a lot of congestion here. Honestly, it's hard. Let me go to the monthly. Monthly is much more cleaner, easier to see. All right. So you know what? All I can say is we're bullish as long as we're above all these moving averages, we're bullish. As far as the next target, I don't know, because there's a lot of congestion in here. A lot of congestion in this area. It's got to clear. If it clears this here at 48,000, I guess I'll have to call it 50,000 psychological resistance. Then you're probably going to head towards the highs again, all-time highs, if it breaks 50,000. But anyway, I like Bitcoin on the daily, the weekly, the monthly, above all the key moving averages, and I like it as a hedge against Armageddon with stuff going on with the Israel-Gaza war. And nothing imminent really came out of yesterday. We talked about that thing with the hospital, but things have seemed to be quieting down and nothing big happening right now imminently with the Israel war. So in any case, CRISPR, Microsoft, Novo Nordisk, you know what? I'm going to have to move Novo Nordisk in respect out of the pre-market action. I'm going to have to move Novo Nordisk up above Microsoft. All right. So I think CRISPR and Novo Nordisk are going to be the top two picks of the day. Maybe I'm going to actually move Siri up also for potential follow through. So keep these in the top. Let's call it the top 4 for today. I'm going to keep Lilly, NVIDIA, Celsius out of it. So CRISPR, Novo Nordisk, and a Siri above 525. It is great. So CRISPR, Novo Nordisk, Siri. Let me just check QQQ in case you want to do Microsoft. I don't know. CRISPR, Novo Nordisk, Microsoft, because I really respect Wedbush and Dan Ives, and I know the rest of the community does also. So we got to put that in the top 4. I think we're going to do these 4: CRISPR, Novo Nordisk, Microsoft, Siri. So we give you these ideas, and one of the things that we talk about is you got to look at relative strength. And I'll try. I'm not always on top of it, but I'll try in the chat if there's like something. Right now, I'm saying CRISPR is probably the one I like best. If something changes, you usually see that by like 10 a.m., maybe latest 10:30 a.m. to see and recognize that, wait a second, no, it looks like Siri is going to be strongest the rest of the day, or Novo Nordisk. Like usually by 10 or 10:30 a.m., that's obvious. So, I'll try to put a message in to let you know if it's one of these others, Novo Nordisk, Microsoft, or Siri. And who knows, it might be, we got Lilly, NVIDIA, Celsius, SMCI. I have all these on my radar as well, all right? So if any of these really overtake, then I'll let you know that as well. I'll try to. All right, so good luck today. I'm really excited about CRISPR. Let's hope my thesis is right. Let's hope it works out. But even if I'm wrong for today, I did pick up long-term shares and I'm comfortable holding. I really am very comfortable. I have good conviction holding this long-term because of the approval. I'm going to let everyone know again, I'm not going to be able to sustain this show unless we really build up our subscriber base. So I really encourage everyone to go to twitter.com/storytrading. I'm going to be tweeting there more often as we see the markets are opening here right now. I'm going to be tweeting over there more often. So if you can like, retweet, comment, that'll be great. And you know what? I'm not actively trading right now, aside from, I already did the trades I wanted this morning for the long term. So maybe I'll just stick here for just a minute. And we'll see what happens with these top four, these top five. Let's move this to, should we move it to percentage? CRISPR, actually I like the dollar amounts better. So 58.57, Novo Nordisk 99, Microsoft, nice little jump. Is it outperforming QQQ? That's what I'd like to know. And it is. That's a good sign. So QQQ down 0.26%. So we already see a good sign. Intel hitting some sort of high. I love Intel, by the way. I think I added Intel to my IRA the other day. Let me just look up Intel for a second. Intel, look at all these alerts coming through. I'm going to stick Intel up so I can monitor that because I really like what's going on there and I like the chart. So, all right, we'll monitor Intel. Intel had really good news recently, and there's speculation they're going to get some big government contract, which I think I covered the other day. Anyway, CRISPR, Novo Nordisk, Microsoft. Continue to see this strength in Microsoft outperforming the NASDAQ. That's a good sign. Again, down 0.2%. Microsoft up 0.5%. What was the 52-week high there? 372.73. 373.50 is a 52-week high. So we'll see if we can make a move towards that. Still have CRISPR at the top. Still going to be my favorite, but we got to look at the Intel chart here. Intel is freaking gorgeous. All right. Intel making its way to 42.77, that 200 DMA. This has been beautiful. 42.77, 50-week moving average at 43.07. Intel, beautiful. I love it. Got it in my retirement account. Looks like business is really picking up for them. Got lots of good sentiment on Intel recently. All right, I'm going to end the show here and continue to have some really good hope for CRISPR above 58. I think 58 is that key level. Didn't I talk about that? Hold on. Let me just look at the pre-market interaction here. There we go. Oh, it dropped below 58, went to 57.50. So what was that level we talked about? 57.11 potentially, but 58 is really important. If it can grab 58 again, and if that can become support, then I'm going to be hopeful that we can retest the pre-market high 59.90. So watch that 58 level, then watch that 57.11 level as a potential low. It's 57.33 right now. All right, guys, good luck. I will be in the chat room a bit later, and I'll see you on Twitter as well. Appreciate your support over at twitter.com/storytrading. Take care, everyone.